Completing the job is the Manchester United task tonight after a brilliant first leg result in northern Spain. Even for United, a club renowned for the dramatic, it should be straightforward. Old Trafford is very much alive tonight. It's another big European semi-final for the club in a competition that can save their season. Robert, you've been with Manchester United every step of the way in this competition this season. Surely it's going to be straightforward for them tonight.
It's important they get off to a good start, but 3-0 up, you would think it would be easy for Manchester United tonight.
So it looks as though they're going to go long for the first time tonight from the throw-in. That's Marouane Sanadi, who's the obvious target for a situation like this one, but that's not the best of throw-ins at all. He's going to chase this one across, but he's given it up here to Unai Simon. Berenguer with a chance, and that's a good early chance. It's a nice ball fed through here to Fernandes. On it goes to Garnacho. Out comes the goalkeeper and did superbly well.
It's a great ball from Fernandes. Could Garnacho lift it over Aguirre Bazal?
Good ball at all, though, is it, by Dorgu? Symptomatic, really, of the way Manchester United have started. Harry Maguire challenged by Sanadi, able to stand his ground, but it's a sloppy pass. It's straight to Jallo. He's going to hit one straight at Lenny Yoro. Now Yari Gizar with a chance to curl. That's brilliant. What a goal! Mikel Yari Gizar with an absolute beauty into the top corner, and there's pandemonium now among the Bilbao supporters. Well, there's a turn-up.
I've got to say, what a fantastic strike.
You have to go through, you cannot go out.
He said stop the early goal, and it's not worked. As he got beat from so far out.
On it goes to Jallo. The man in the way was Ugarte, and now they're picking up in a decent area, Manchester United. Dorgu. Garnacho's in. Brilliant ball. Goalkeeper to beat. Lifts it over the arch wide. Couldn't finish it.
Take it to the side, go round the goalkeeper, use your pace. It's a big chance.
Manchester United almost through to half-time. In fact, they are. But it's not without the scare, and it's not without the opening goal tonight for Mikel Yari Gizar. Beautiful goal, top corner. They've got the cushion. It's still a 2-goal lead, but there's work to do, and there are certainly nerves inside Old Trafford at half-time. Half-time on the night, Manchester United 0, Athletic Club 1.
You'd have to credit Bilbao that, you know, they've actually played really well. They've had more of the ball. They've looked more dangerous, even though they're missing the 3 most influential players.
All over the place. It's so disjointed performance. It's been a difficult watch. Don't take any credit away from the lad who scored the goal. It's a really good strike from him and a good finish, and Bilbao really deserved that lead.
Not a good first half. Athletic Club are all over us. Changes need to happen at half-time or early into the second half, because something needs to be done. I believe we can come back, and we're going to come back. We are Manchester United, I mean, come on.
I'm sure the Manchester United manager is looking for a change, Robbie, in the way that Manchester United are going about it. And all of a sudden, we've got this scenario where the next goal in this semi-final is vital.
Huge. You know, if Athletic Club get it 2-0, massive pressure will come around the stadium on the players. But really interested to see the manager's changes if it stays at 1-0 for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Will he be positive and aggressive in his changes?
Bruno Fernandes has lost it. Now Garasabal gets it back again and slides it through, and there's Harry Maguire, and they've started the second half well.
You've got Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, and Ahmad. Hopefully they can do something here, because it's very, very careless at the moment. Stretford's behind them, but what do?
This is where the manager will earn his money. Ahmad's going as a 10 with Mount, it looks like. Positive changes from the manager.
"26 minutes to go. Manchester United 26 minutes from Bilbao. Free header right towards the corner, and that wasn't that far away from Nunes. Ahmad, Old Trafford full of noise. Ahmad away from Berenguer, pulls it back. Mason now didn't get anything on it like he needed to. Here's Yoro. Lovely turn by Mount. Is that the goal to send Manchester United to Bilbao for the Europa League final? Look at the smile on the face of Mason Mount. He's come up big when Manchester United needed him. Come on, Mason! Yes! Come on!
Lovely goal.
And that's such an important goal, not just for Manchester United, but you feel for Mason Mount as a Manchester United player. In it goes, that was a chance, wasn't it? Went flashing in, Gurutheta was the player who reached it.
That's the chance, it was a big chance as well. Magnificent atmosphere, look at the crowd.
Free kick taken by Fernandes, it's lost on him! And as the crowd was singing, Casemiro put it in the net. What did he do? He glanced it straight into the back of the net, and it's destination Bilbao for Manchester United. Come on, Casemiro!
He scores a lot from free kicks, you know.
Manchester United are a little bit more than 5 minutes away. Look at Lenny Yoro striding forward. Dorgu. Ahmad. Pulls it through! And look at them now, smiles everywhere, no sign of nerves. Rasmus Højlund joins the party, come on! Confidence for Højlund. I mean, what a journey it's been in the competition. I mean, they were fine in the group stage, but then there were rocky moments against Real Sociedad. It was an absolute up and downer against Lyon. And then we've got this. It's got to go. He scored it! Astonishing! And what a way to put the exclamation point on a glorious night for Manchester United in a European semi-final. A quite outrageous finish from Mason Mount.
I think it's been the best 30 minutes of his career. What a performance from Mason Mount.
Game, set, match. Done.
Manchester United are back into a European final.
Massive pressure, the season resting on tonight's performance. That second half, good substitutions. Mason Mount with 2 world-class goals. The Spurs Manchester United final on TNT. What a night to look forward to.
For me personally, obviously my first goals here at Old Trafford, so a special night. One I've been waiting for a long time, and we want to finish strong now.
It's the history of this club. It's a history of winning trophies all the time. Even in these bad years that we're having, history tells me they've got a great chance of winning it.
We need to win it. If we don't win it, it's nothing. It means nothing for us.
15th versus 16th in the Premier League, but somehow it's the Europa League final. A difficult season for both managers, Ruben Amorim and Ange Postecoglou. Kweku, a win in this competition, who do you think it would mean more to?
I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here because I'm supposed to, as a Chelsea fan, I'm supposed to have a disdain for Spurs, but throughout my time growing up watching Chelsea, Spurs were never a threat. I think that Manchester United have an opportunity to springboard off the back of winning the Champions League or winning the Europa League. They are still Manchester United. They are still a huge draw. We see it in the Europa League. When teams come to Old Trafford, they freeze because despite how poor they've been in recent seasons, they're still a behemoth of a football club. And I still believe in Ruben Amorim as a manager. I think Spurs, if they were to win this Europa League and qualify for the Champions League, they'll be very happy that they won the trophy. Daniel Levy will be very happy they qualified for the Champions League. But I don't expect them to go on next season and become a force. And so I think it's more important for Manchester United. Jim Ratcliffe's made everybody acutely aware of how little money Manchester United have got. Amrin, we all know, needs his players to succeed at the football club. So I think if Man United were to win this competition and qualify for the Champions League, it will have more of an effect, a residual effect on their football club than Spurs.
I mean, I've always said it. I think one of the most important things about being in the Champions League, as well as just having that financial backing, is the ability to attract the top players. I think, as you mentioned, Man United haven't really struggled with that. I think their wage structure allows them to pay players a lot of money anyway. So even if money is the motivation, people will be inclined to join Man United. I think if Spurs get into the Champions League with that huge new stadium, they can springboard off the back of that really successfully, because they probably do have quite a lot of money to spend, because they haven't spent a huge amount. They also have a new stadium. They live in London, which is a huge draw. And to be in the Champions League will allow them to get better players. But I'm not sure that many players after the back of this season would actually want to play for Spurs, having seen what's gone on, and especially if Ange Postecoglou is the manager there.
I think everything you've said is right in theory. Like, Spurs should be able to, if they go on and win the Europa League, create a springboard from that and go on to bigger and better things. But history tells us that they won't. History tells us that Daniel Levy will put a load of the money to one side. He'll look after the business first, the football team second, and Tottenham Hotspur will end up in a very similar situation to the one that they found themselves in maybe last season, where they're knocking on the door 5th, 6th in the league, but that feels like it's kind of their ceiling at the moment. In answer to your original question, who's it more important to? It's more important for me to the Tottenham fan base than it is to the Manchester United fan base, because they've been starved of success and silverware. It's probably more important to Ange Postecoglou than Ruben Amorim, because I think it's the difference between him keeping his job and not. Amorim could do with the money, and Amorim could do with, obviously, the funds to rebuild at Manchester United, and obviously being in the Champions League makes a difference there. But he's going to start the new season as the Man United boss regardless. And as you say, yeah, money's a problem, but I think they can still attract players because they're Manchester United. So this is a really, really fascinating one. I think Ange Postecoglou's just given it so much, hasn't he, about winning trophies in his second season. And I think the only reason he's not been sacked so far is because they're still in this competition. If he was to fail to win it, there could be much bigger repercussions than there would be for Ruben Amorim.
And again, this is a shame, because the Europa League, I got a lot of stick for saying that I'd rather win the Carabao Cup than the Europa League, and I stand by that statement. But this is the shame. It's a shame that there's two English teams in the final of the Europa League, because on the continent they view this as a major trophy, whereas in England they view it as a means to generate more funds by qualifying for the Champions League. And so in this final, we are looking at these two teams not for the merits of this final, not for the merits of the trophy, but what it means for next season. And I think that's a shame in the cup final, especially a trophy that, like I say, so many teams on the continent take very seriously. But I'll take your point about Ange Postecoglou. This could be the difference between him keeping his job or losing his job. I've been on record in saying that if Spurs win the Europa League, he deserves to keep his job. He's delivered the trophy, their first trophy in 17 years. And he's also qualified for the Champions League. That's going to please his boss in Daniel Levy. With Manchester United, there's less jeopardy because Amorim will be given more time. And so for Spurs, this is everything. They will parade this trophy round North London if they win it. This is a massive game for both of these sides. But again, teams that are sitting where they're sitting in the Premier League table, being in a major European final, it just doesn't sit right with me.
But also as well, like, there's been, to your point about you'd rather win the Carabao Cup, right? If you had asked me last year, I would have said that's crazy. But I look at the Europa League now, and I don't think it is that crazy a statement. I still don't agree with it, yeah. But I don't think it's that out there as maybe some people would suggest, because the Europa League this year is significantly weaker than it has been in a long, long time. The lack of Champions League dropouts, okay, some people will say that's fairer, but as a competition, in terms of its level, the level has dropped. The fact that we've got 15th and 16th sort of in the Premier League on course to make the final says everything you need to know about the standard of this competition. Bodo Glimt are in the semi-final, and credit to them, they've done great. But they shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be anywhere near there. What does their stadium fit? The same as Northampton Town or something like that? Genuinely, like, they shouldn't be there. This competition.
Is that not the beauty of it, though? Is that not the beauty of having a second European competition, so that the smaller clubs or the clubs?
Well, I thought that's why we made the third one.
Who've been less traditionally successful can have their moment of glory. Like you said, they'll parade their trophy around North London. They should.
Yeah.
That's a huge fan base which is starved of trophies. We've said many times, you've said it many times, football is about trophies, it's about those moments.
Yeah.
You told Jared Bowen in the West Ham Massive what it meant to win the Europa Conference League. So I think you're being disrespectful I think you're being disrespectful on the competition because you're coming up against huge clubs. Like, okay, Manchester United just walked all over Athletic Bilbao. Yeah. But that's a stadium which fits 55,000 people. That's a football club with a huge heritage.
But they've got no European heritage. Athletic Bilbao don't have any European heritage. Bodo Glimt don't have European heritage. You know, it's not to say that Tottenham shouldn't enjoy it if they win it, or that Manchester United shouldn't enjoy it if they win it. But the fact that the level in that competition is lower than it was previously, that is undeniable.
Yeah.
You look at the teams that are in it, it's as simple as that. Like,
my viewpoint on it as well is that, like, I think it's almost embarrassing if English teams with their vast amounts of wealth and financial power, if they're in it, they should win it. And maybe I'm biased because every time my team Chelsea have been in a secondary or tertiary competition in Europe, they've won it. In 2013, they won it under Rafa Benitez. In 2019, they won it under Mauricio Sarri. Two managers that aren't beloved by Chelsea fans, but it's the financial might of the Premier League dictates that those teams should win this competition on a regular basis. And that's why, for me, it's a shame because we're looking at two teams, maybe not Spurs, but United, who are almost looking past the trophy, looking at it as a means to an end. And I don't think that's right. I think this competition, like you mentioned, should be for those teams that aspire to win European silverware. For United, that's not that. For United, this is a completely different case. It's trying to get in the Champions League.
I think for Spurs it is. And I think the fact that it's two Premier League teams makes it an exciting tie. The fact that Manchester United have quite a poor record against Spurs also makes it quite an interesting tie. Where do you actually see the game going?
It's sod's law, right? The Spurs have beaten Man United twice already this season. In the final, I think I'd take Manchester United. Spurs, for whatever reason, don't give you the sense that when it's the high leverage moments, they can come through. Manchester United, I know they made a pig zero of the game against Lyon, but they managed to find a way. Over the last couple of seasons, I know Ten Hag's first season was decent, they finished third, but they won a trophy as well. They won the League Cup. Last season, in a very poor season for Manchester United, their poorest in Premier League history up until this season, they still won the FA Cup against City in a very good performance. For some reason, Manchester United find a way and Spurs find a way to lose games. They are an accident waiting to happen. And for me, if I have to pick a winner in this final, I'll go Manchester United. If you ask me about the X's and O's, I think Spurs are actually quite suited to playing Manchester United, and we've seen it this season. But it's predicated on fitness. It's predicated on Van de Ven and Romero being fit, Doggy and Porro being at it, and being able to exploit those wide areas, because I think you've got wing-backs who don't quite understand the remit of the job right now. And if a Doggy and Porro...
Manchester United have a 2-week spell to prepare for the Europa League final against Tottenham Hotspur. It's a chance for Ruben Amorim to win his first trophy as Manchester United head coach, presenting the 40-year-old with an opportunity to win his first European Cup after winning 2 league titles during his time at Sporting CP. Continued to suffer domestically since Ineos sacked Erik ten Hag, but Amorim remains hopeful he can inspire the Red Devils to success, starting with the Europa League. United beat Athletic Club 3-1 at Old Trafford to secure their place in the Europa League final against Tottenham, who eliminated BDO Glimt in the semi-finals, winning 4-1 on aggregate. However, it's been a turbulent season for both clubs, especially in the Premier League. They are both set to finish in the bottom half of the table, despite aiming to compete for the top 4 at the start of the season. United are positioned slightly higher than Tottenham in the standings, but we will be reminded of the fact Ange Postecoglou's side did the double over the Red Devils in the league this season. Amorim will be of the mindset that United must change that record by beating Tottenham in Bilbao. Interestingly, United will be tasked with achieving the same feat in the Europa League, after losing twice to Tottenham in the league this season. In their first league meeting of the season back in September, Tottenham beat United 3-0 at Old Trafford before winning the reverse fixture 1-0. Looking to get his first win over Postecoglou, Amorim stressed that United must think in terms of odds against Tottenham because we can keep losing important matches against them. First of all, you have to think in terms of odds. It's hard for a club to lose 4 times in a row, so we can think that way, Amorim said. We have to have a full squad, that is really important. Then we have to study the game quite well, and then we need to have a bit of luck. Today, you felt we suffered a goal, but we had so many transitions to score a goal and we didn't score. We have to be clinical in that game. Tottenham won the second leg of their tie against BDO Glimt after a second-half goal from striker Dominic Solanke. The England international will be looking to build on his impressive goal-scoring record against United after scoring 5 goals against the Red Devils from his time at Bournemouth and now Tottenham. Solanke, 27, has already scored against United this season in Tottenham's 3-1 win over Amorim's side. United's defence will be warned not to give him too much space inside the box, but after conceding 1 goal in 2 legs against Athletic Club, our confidence should grow in defence.